It happened in less than 5 seconds. A speeding truck ignored a red light, a luxury SUV spun helplessly across the busy intersection, and everyone watching froze in fear. Everyone except one widowed father who ran toward the danger instead of away from it. Before the crushing impact could claim another life, he risked everything to pull a stranger from the twisted vehicle. He had already lost the love of his life once. That day, he refused to let another family lose someone they loved. If you believe that kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances still exist in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share this story with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel to become part of our growing community. Garrett Cole had never imagined that life could become so quiet. 3 years earlier, his wife had passed away after a sudden illness, leaving him to raise their 8-year-old daughter, Chloe, alone. Every morning he woke before sunrise, packed Chloe's lunch, braided her hair the best he could after watching countless online tutorials, and drove an old pickup truck to his construction job. Money was always tight, but Garrett never allowed his daughter to feel poor. He believed love could fill the spaces where money could not. On a bright spring morning, Garrett had taken the day off to attend Chloe's school art exhibition. She proudly handed him a colorful painting of a family standing beneath a rainbow. Even though her mother was painted as an angel in the clouds, Chloe smiled with hope instead of sadness. Garrett hugged her tightly, promising they would always take care of each other. After leaving the school, Garrett stopped at a nearby intersection when he noticed a black SUV speeding toward a crossing just as a delivery truck barreled through a red light. Tires screamed against the pavement. Metal twisted with a deafening crash. Without thinking, Garrett threw open his truck door and sprinted toward the wreckage. Smoke drifted into the air as frightened drivers gathered from a distance, too shocked to move closer. Garrett ignored the danger. He forced open the damaged passenger door and found a woman trapped by her seatbelt. Blood trickled from a cut above her forehead, but she was still conscious, struggling to breathe. With remarkable determination, Garrett unfastened the belt and carefully pulled her free just moments before the vehicle's engine burst into flames. The explosion sent everyone stumbling backward as emergency crews finally arrived. The rescued woman was Vivian Hart, one of the country's most respected technology CEOs. Despite leading a billion-dollar company, she was known for keeping her personal life private. She had built her business from nothing after growing up in foster care, believing success meant never depending on anyone. Yet lying on the pavement that afternoon, she realized her life had been saved not by wealth or power, but by the courage of an ordinary father. Several days later, Garrett returned to work, assuming he would never see her again. Then a sleek sedan pulled into the dusty construction site. Vivian stepped out with a simple bouquet of wildflowers instead of expensive gifts. She thanked Garrett with genuine emotion and offered him a generous financial reward. Garrett politely refused, explaining that no amount of money could compare to knowing someone had survived. His honesty surprised Vivian more than anything else. Most people recognized her wealth before they recognized her humanity. Garrett had treated her like any other person in need. Curious about the man who had risked his life for a stranger, Vivian asked if she could meet Chloe. Garrett hesitated but agreed. A few days later, Vivian visited their modest home carrying art supplies instead of luxury presents. Chloe welcomed her with innocent excitement, proudly showing every drawing she had ever made. Watching father and daughter laugh together around a tiny kitchen table changed something inside Vivian. Her luxurious penthouse suddenly felt emptier than ever before. She admired Garrett's quiet strength and Chloe's joyful spirit. They possessed something money had never been able to buy, a real family built on unconditional love. As weeks passed, Vivian found small reasons to stay connected. She sponsored the local community center where Chloe attended weekend art classes, but she insisted no one know it was her donation. Garrett appreciated her generosity but reminded Chloe that true kindness expected nothing in return. One afternoon, Garrett learned that the construction company where he worked was shutting down after losing a major contract. He returned home carrying a cardboard box with his belongings, unsure how he would pay next month's bills. He refused to ask Vivian for help, believing dignity meant standing on his own feet. Vivian eventually discovered the truth through a newspaper article about the layoffs. Instead of offering charity, she invited Garrett to oversee safety operations for several community building projects funded by her foundation. She believed his integrity mattered more than any resume. Garrett accepted because he had earned the opportunity through his experience, not because of pity. Working together allowed them to understand each other beyond first impressions. Vivian slowly shared the loneliness she had hidden behind business success. Garrett spoke openly about grieving his wife while learning to smile again for Chloe's sake. They realized that healing was not about forgetting painful memories but finding new reasons to keep moving forward. Months later, Chloe entered a statewide children's art competition. Her painting showed 3 people planting a tiny tree beneath bright sunshine. When judges asked about the artwork, she explained that broken hearts could grow again if someone cared enough to help them. Her painting won first place, but the greatest reward came afterward when she hugged both Garrett and Vivian as though they already belonged together. Garrett began to recognize that happiness no longer felt like betraying his late wife. Loving someone new did not erase the love he had once shared. Instead, it honored the lessons compassion had taught him. On a warm afternoon during a community park celebration, Vivian stood beside the very intersection where Garrett had once saved her life. The damaged road had been rebuilt, flowers lined the sidewalks, and children laughed nearby. She looked at Garrett with grateful eyes filled not with obligation, but with love. Instead of an extravagant display, Vivian quietly handed Garrett a small wooden box. Inside rested a simple engagement ring. She had realized that the greatest success of her life would never appear on a financial report. It would be building a family with the man who had taught her that courage begins with kindness. Garrett, overwhelmed with emotion, accepted her heartfelt marriage proposal, and Chloe burst into joyful tears before wrapping both of them in the biggest hug she could manage. Before we reach the end of this journey, tell us in the comments, do you believe one act of kindness can completely change someone's life, or have you ever experienced a second chance that restored your faith in people? Their wedding took place several months later in a beautiful public garden under the bright afternoon sun, surrounded by friends, co-workers, neighbors, and children from the community center. There were no extravagant decorations, only genuine smiles and grateful hearts. Garrett understood that the greatest treasures were never measured in dollars but in love, trust, and the courage to open your heart again after unimaginable loss. Vivian finally discovered that the family she had searched for all her life had been waiting behind one selfless act of bravery. Chloe gained not only a loving mother figure but also the confidence that hope always has the final word. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, the smallest act of kindness can become the beginning of someone else's happiest ending.